Good afternoon and welcome once again to Rosario. We are live from Argentina, opening 2025 season of TCR South America here in Santa Fe province, Rosario, hometown of football legend Lionel Messi, home to one of the greatest football derbies in Argentina, is now part of what we have ahead. Race number 2 with the reverse grid order and yet loads of action coming up in this TCR South American Championship. So we are climbing up the atmosphere. All the way heading into midday in Argentina. Yet everything to decide in this 2025 season after race 1 that was won by Leonel Pernilla behind Nelson Piquet Jr. and Pedro Cardoso closing the podium. Here we have the entrance, 14 cars ready for this 25-minute race. Here we have the starting grid that is getting ready for the race. The crowd has arrived to the stadium, to the circuits, given the football stadium atmosphere. The pit lane is already open for the 14 cars. Luis Ramirez, the driver from Panama, has pole position for this reverse grid race. We'll share with you Ramirez alongside Mariano Pernilla, Fabricio Pezzini and Juan Angel Rosso in row 2. Fabian Gianantoni, who crushed in race 1. Good morning. Here we have the safety car already awaiting. Here are the cars slowly approaching into the grid. We'll hear from the drivers shortly in Rosario as we see this hot circuit. Gennaro Raceto had a crash and suffered some steering damage in the race, and Santino Ballerini, after his crash in the last lap when he was running in 5th place, might be forced to start from the pit lane as we fly through.
Buenas tardes para todos, boa tarde para los amigos de Brasil. Y aquí estamos en la grilla de partida del TCR South America Banco BRB para esta segunda carrera con grilla invertida. La información es que Santino Ballerini va a estar largando desde la posición de boxes porque estaban terminando de arreglar el auto que sufrió obviamente un accidente en la carrera número 1. Y ahora nos metemos con el saludo protocolar a Felipe Magoff, promotor del TCR South America Banco BRB, que le entrega al gobernador de Santa Fe,
Felipe Magoff,
una réplica
handing the trophy to Maximiliano Pularo, governor of Santa Fe province.
Las sensaciones de estar aquí en una nueva visita del TCR.
What are your thoughts ahead of this race?
Primero agradecerles por el lugar que ponen
First
en la
of all,
ciudad de
I
Rosario.
have to say we are really grateful for the room given for Rosario. Everybody's very welcome.
Se den en la ciudad que es la capital del
We're happy to
interior de
have
la
this
República
track
Argentina. Y siempre para
receiving
nosotros
these
es un
cars.
gusto poder tener este tipo de eventos que realmente son pasiones de
It's
mucha
always
gente.
fantastic to have
Mueve
these
mucho nuestra
kind of
economía,
events that
viene
bring the
gente
passion of the people.
de Rosario, de la región, pero de todo el país y de América Latina. Así que estamos muy felices conjunto aquí con la gente de la municipalidad.
Muchísimas gracias,
very,
gobernador.
very
Escuchábamos entonces
happy to
la
have all of you
palabra
alongside
del gobernador
Rosario
de aquí de Santa
directives.
Fe. Y voy a buscar la palabra también de Luis Ramírez desde Panamá, que larga en la primera posición en esta grilla invertida. Voy a molestar un segundo al panameño que está aquí visitando una vez más la Argentina. Luis, me imagino los nervios, la concentración de largar otra vez desde la pole.
Bueno, la verdad es que sí, bastante contento por la oportunidad de estar aquí de la primera posición. La verdad es que nos
I'm very happy
bastante.
to be in pole position.
Sabemos que no va a ser una carrera fácil, es una carrera un poco
It
más
won't be
larga,
an easy
30
race.
minutos. Ya estamos concentrados, ya sabemos que con Dios todo se puede.
We are
Vamos a hacer lo
focused.
mejor para llegar a Panamá en alto y nada.
We'll try to put Panama as high as we can.
Muchas gracias. Escuchamos la palabra entonces
Says Luis.
de Luis Ramírez, que viene desde Panamá.
Luis Ramírez as Mariano runs
a Mariano
to second place.
A bordo del Honda Civic, algo querido.
To speak with Mariano Pernilla.
Carrera del TCR, ahora largando desde la segunda posición.
Now starting in second place.
Sí, con las expectativas.
I have high expectations.
Y nada, a ver si los cambios que hicimos le gustan y tenemos mejor.
We'll see if the car
Muchas gracias.
changes, produce an effect, and we'll see what the race brings on, says Mariano Pernilla, starting his first full season after some one-off outings in the series. Mariano Pernilla, former footballer himself, born in Argentina but had a long spell in Spain in the Spanish La Liga. If you remember that prolific left back with loads of goals scored for Getafe and Atletico Madrid. It's himself now living his life as a professional racing driver in Argentina, following his spell in the Spaniard national team in the 2006 World Cup in Germany.
Fabricio Pezzini largando desde la
We'll hear
tercera
from
posición,
2022 champion Fabricio Pezzini.
Sudamérica. Fabri, volviendo a la categoría, ¿cuáles son las sensaciones?
Back in the series.
Bien, trataremos de hacer una buena carrera.
We'll try to do a good race.
El auto está muy lógico, tuvimos
Car
mala suerte
space
en la primera que se nos
seems
cortaron
to
los
be
paros de ruedas, así que
quite
podemos sumar buenos puntos de
remarkable. After
Fabricio Pezzini a bordo del
bad
Cupra
luck in the
del
first
W
race, we'll try to score some points in this race number 2. Fabricio Pezzini, who won the 2022 title for PMO Racing, driving a Lincoln Co. And now the golden card that we have this week, Nelson Piquet Jr. Former Formula 1 driver, 28 outings in 2008 and 2009. One podium celebrated for him in the 2008 German Grand Prix for Renault. There we have Fabian Gianantuoni, who spun on race 1. Thiago Pernilla claimed pole position yesterday and will start today in 10th place. As the cars are ready for the warm-up lap in a second. Cars are now lining up on the grid. Now the cars are opening this formation lap. Let's have a look at the starting grid once again. As we said, Luis Ramirez from Panama starts from pole after qualifying 10th yesterday for PMO Racing. Mariano Pernilla in second for the rebranded Honda YPF Racing, formerly known as Squadra Martino. 2022 champion Fabrizio Pezzini starts in third for W2 Pro GP, making his debut with the Cupra. Juan Angel Rosso introducing the new Palladini Racing Lincoln Coast alongside Fabian Gianantoni, his teammate, both in fourth and fifth. Followed on sixth place by Rafael Reis from W2 Pro GP, teammates to Fabrizio Pezzini. Lionel Pernilla, race 1 winner, starts in 7th for Honda YPF Racing. The Honda. Pedro Cardoso as the PMO Racing Peugeot in 8th. Nelson Piquet Jr. in 9th for Honda YPF Racing. 10th place for Thiago Pernilla, the Argentinian 21-year-old. Santino Ballerini was set to start from 11th, but he will start from the pit lane. The grid is completed with Gennaro Rassetto in 12th for PMO Racing. In 13th, the only TCR trophy entrant today in this weekend, Adrian Chiriano. And closing the starting grid is Maria Nincoter, the 18-year-old rookie from Brazil, niece of former F3 driver Leonardo Nincoter. Here we have Santino Ballerini. And everything is now set to start.
Ou seja, mais giro e mais controle na embreagem você vai precisar.
Have a better control in the clutch. The radio communication, I guess it was for Nelson Piquet Jr. Here are the cars approaching onto the grid. Now we are getting ready for the race. Race number 2 will start in Rosario. On your right, on the screen, is Luis Ramirez from Panama. Left side for Mariano Pernilla for Honda YPF Racing. Here is Santino Ballerini set to start from the pit lane 13 cars on the grid, green flag waving, and we will start race number 2. And we are racing in Rosario. Good start by Ramirez, slow start by Leonel Pernilla, back in 7th place as Ramirez takes the lead. Rounding the outside will go in Fabrizio Pesini, trying to pick up a better top speed with the Cupra. Pesini goes into the lead. Ramirez remains in 2nd. 3rd place for Mariano Pernilla, who will try to challenge Ramirez for 2nd in the outside as they arrive to the first braking point. Pesini takes the lead. Ramirez resists in 2nd, and now Pernilla will try to go round in the outside and take 2nd place from the Panamanian driver, but Ramirez survives. Reis jumps into 4th, followed by Juan Angel Rosso, battling for 4th position as well. There is Pesini in first place. Pernilla once again trying to squeeze his car and take 2nd from Ramirez, as Reis already is also challenging him for 3rd. Ramirez surviving as much as he can in 2nd position as he goes into the inside. Pernilla will try to have the better braking line, and Ramirez tries to stay. There was a slight contact, I think, between Reis and Mariano Pernilla, who still is in 3rd position, and everything is favoring Fabrizio Pesini, who runs wide. And now look at Ramirez back in 3rd already as Pernilla tries to impose and go into 2nd position. It's a very tight battle, and look the big gap created by Pesini thanks to these battles on track between Ramirez, Pernilla and Reis. There is Ramirez once again braking, and Pernilla still battles and still tries to take 2nd position from the Panamanian, who still survives and has done a marvelous defense during all the first lap despite locking up here. As we go into the main straight, we'll see the huge gap created by Fabrizio Pesini in this race. In the first lap, 3 seconds from Pesini to Ramirez. Pesini well favored by the battle for 2nd position as we see the some clouds are approaching into the track. Pernilla now diving into the inside. He will go for 2nd position, and there he is, Mariano Pernilla, as we had a car going into the pit lane. I think it was Gennaro Rossetto. Reis loses a few spots. Oh, contact between Luis Ramirez and I think it was, I'm not sure it was Pernilla, I think it was Juan Angel Rosso, as here is car number 88 of Adrian Chiriano in the pit lane. There we see Mariano Pernilla in 2nd, Reis in 3rd, Rosso in 4th, and Ramirez has lost several spots, unfortunately, for the Panamanian, who tried to survive. He is already back. I think he's in 11th place already, suffering a big drop after that contact on track. Pedro Cardoso battling with Gian Antonio. Let's go on board with the defending champion. Another lap completed and Pernilla jumps into 2nd. Look at Ramirez dropping back to 10th place apparently. Yes, 10th place for the Panamanian. Fabrizio Pesini now leads 3.2 seconds off Pernilla. We'll see now that Mariano Pernilla has clear track ahead. We'll see if he can match the pace of Pesini, knowing that Pesini's teammate is right behind him, Rafael Reis, as we watch Pedro Cardoso, who is in 5th position behind 4th place Juan Angel Rosso. Behind Cardoso we have race 1 winner Leonel Pernilla, and here is Nelson Piquet Jr. in his full season debut. We see Rafael Reis attacking on Mariano Pernilla. 25 minutes remaining as we've gone through. Here we have Pezzini coming into the main straights as the gap remains very similar now. We have a lap record for Leonel Pernilla. Let's have a replay at the start. It's a very good start by Luis Ramirez. Fantastic timing by the Panamanian. We cannot say the same from Leonel Pernilla. And in behind, I think it was Adrian Chiriano in 13th. There is Pezzini by the outside. Pernilla took the lead in race 1 through the inside. Pezzini did the opposite on the outside. 3.5 seconds is the gap, as Pezzini was 3/10 quicker than Pernilla, and Reis was half a second quicker than Mariano Pernilla. 1:40.3 was the last lap set by Pezzini, as we see here the contact between Ramirez and I think it was Juan Angel Rosso. Here we have Fabian Gianantuoni in the pit lane. Mariano Pernilla braking and holding up all the rest of the pack. Pezzini's pace seems to be quite consistent. Here is Juan Angel Rosso braking into the last turn of the track. We're closing another lap. 1:39.9 set by Pezzini. As we hear a radio communication, I think it was for Leonel Pernilla saying you and Cardoso are quicker than the cars ahead. As there is Juan Angel Rosso resisting in 4th against Pedro Cardoso. Rafael Reis in the meantime trying to put more pressure, and he goes for 2nd place, outbraking Mariano Pernilla, and a good move for Rafael Reis to jump into 2nd place. Now it's the 1-2 for W2 Pro GP, and Reis might be now covering the back of his teammate Fabrizio Pezzini, who's still escaping and has added 1 more tenth of a second. Mariano Pernilla now resisting against Juan Angel Rosso. We'll see if the pace of the Honda is collapsing or not, as into the inside is going Pedro Cardoso against Rosso. Cardoso trying to overtake Leonel Pernilla in the inside. It's a really, really good race we've seen in these opening laps. Let's go on board with Cardoso. Oh, Cardoso, slight touch, I think, in the back of Juan Angel Rosso, battling for 4th place. Nelson Piquet Jr. attacking Cardoso too. It's a very tight race, very entertaining throughout these early laps in Rosario. 4th lap was completed in the last time we went through the main straights. Pezzini is leading for almost 4 seconds of gap behind Rafael Reis and this man, Mariano Pernilla, in the green car number 55. Let's see the gap. 4.4 is the gap from Pezzini to Reis. The 2 Cupras leading the pack in Rosario, as we had 2 retirements, Gianantonio and Chiriano. We have 12 cars running, as we have 21 minutes yet. This is the replay of Rafael Reis diving into the inside of Mariano Pernilla and finding 2nd place. Here is Thiago Pernilla, as far as now in 7th place, behind his father, behind Leonel Pernilla. go on board with Nelson Piquet Jr. as far as now in 6th place, attacking for 5th. Now it's the battle between Piquet and Cardoso. Cardoso defending inside and outside as Nelson Piquet Jr. tries to brake hard into the first braking point, turn 2. Go for 5th position from the defending champion. Piquet trying to reduce the line as much as he can. There's Piquet holding up both Pernillas, Leonel and Thiago as Fabian Gianantoni comes out of his car, finishing his race. Unfortunately, no points for him. He spun off in race number 1 and now has to finish his race early. 18 minutes completed. Look at this pack of cars, that is very, very tight. We got Pedro Cardoso, Nelson Piquet Jr., Leonel Pernilla and Thiago Pernilla in less than 3 seconds. 2 seconds and a half. Rounding off all of them. Rafael Reyes reduced 0.5 of a second in the last lap from Pezzini. 140.7 set by Pezzini, 140.2 set by Rafael Reyes. We'll see now. It's 140.4 for Pezzini and 140.17. We see a car that is slowing Cardoso. I think it was, no, it's not Cardoso, but a car was slowing down. I tried to identify it was Ramirez. Yeah, Ramirez was a bit slow. I think it was Cardoso now defending from Piquet. Pedro Cardoso holding on to 5th position, resisting as Juan Angel Rosso has jumped into 3rd, overtaking Mariano Pernilla. We see now Rosso putting the Lincoln Co in the podium. Let's see if we have a replay of the move. That's Piquet going through Cardoso. Oh, Mariano Pernilla has left. The track has spun off. Possibly a long break in, and there is some contact marks in his car. Let's see if he got any puncture or something like that as he look at the rear right door. That certainly has scratches of battle. Pedro Cardoso leading the field from 5th place. Behind him is Nelson Piquet Jr. in 6th. In 7th is Leonel Pernilla. Behind is Thiago Pernilla. 3.7 seconds from Pezzini to Reyes. Almost 3 seconds from Reyes to Rosso. He's sitting really comfortable. Mariano Pernilla has lost positions. Cardoso still resists from Piquet. Mariano Pernilla trying to restart the car. They were possibly taking some damage and trying to clean the radiators, as that run through the grass might have really covered everything and all the cooling channels in the car. Nelson Piquet Jr. going on. It's over for Mariano Pernilla, unfortunately. We'll see if we can get a word from him to find out what happened. We are midway through the race. This is 30 minutes plus 8 laps plus 1 lap. We have 8 laps completed. Now we have cars on the garage, and here we see Gennaro Rasetto with something hanging from the rear of the car. And now a bit more of air between Cardoso, Piquet Jr., Lionel Pernilla and Thiago Pernilla. They were all together previously. 3.7 seconds from Pesini to race, and exactly 3 seconds, 3.000 from race to Rosso. We're going through race number 2 in Rosario. This is the TCR South American Championship. My name is Francisco Aure, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you everybody for joining us around the world. Let's go on board with Nelson Piquet Jr. That might be something. "13 minutes. Another lap closed by Fabrizio Pezzini. The gap is set in 3.8, and 3 seconds of gap from a race to Rosso in third. Then we have 2 seconds of gap from Rosso to Cardoso. Nelson Piquet Jr. has been battling all the time against Pedro Cardoso. We are entering the final third of the race in a few minutes. Less than 12 minutes on the clock. Pesini leading comfortably, 3.8 seconds clear from Rafael Reis. Cardoso doing some turns a bit longer. We'll see if he starts to struggle in this last third of the race. Pesini is leading the race. 2022 champion. As Thiago Pernilla stops on track. Let's hope this doesn't bring a safety car, or let's see. Nelson Piquet Jr. chasing Cardoso, but now he has to also focus in withstanding the attacks of Lionel Pernilla. You can see in the last 3 laps how the gap was reduced. So a very close margin of 0.3 of a second. Piquet is no longer thinking, I guess, in Cardoso, but now thinking on resisting on against Pernilla. Rafael Reyes remains 3 seconds ahead of Rosso and 3.5 now behind. Fabrizio Pessini's family as he is on the last minutes. 8 minutes remaining for Pessini. Pessini, 46 years old. His last win as a driver was in 2022 here in TCR South America. He won the 2022 title with 2 wins and 9 podiums, having won in Velocità, now we're on the last 7 minutes and a half. Both Velocità and the endurance events in Interlagos, the 2 wins by Mauricio Pessini in TCR South America, both consecutive, and then he has waited over almost 3 years until he got another win. And here we see Cardoso dropping back. Pedro Cardoso now in 4th position. As we see, oh, something is wrong with Nelson Piquet Jr. He's losing pace. He's losing pace after... Oh, here's a puncture. He's got a puncture. And that's ending the hopes of Nelson Piquet Jr. That's really unfortunate. 5 minutes from the end of the race. Here you see Pedro Cardoso with loads of damage in his right side of the bodywork. Pessini still 3.6 seconds ahead of Reyes. 2.8 seconds to Rosso. Cardoso is now in 4th place as Nelson Piquet Jr. has dropped back to down in the order. 8.1 seconds of gap from Cardoso to the lead. Leonel Pernia now in 5th. Oh, there is one more time. I thought it was another Honda, but not. Nelson Piquet Jr. arriving to the pits. Now Ramirez is in 6th place, Ballerini in 7th. Gennaro Rossetto will jump to 8th. Marian Incoter to 9th. The 9 survivors. Last 3 minutes and a half plus 1 lap is what we have remaining in this race. W2 Pro GP close to celebrate another win. There is Piquet Jr. back on track. W2 Pro GP won for last time with Gali Dosman last year in Buenos Aires. Rafael Reyes, also in trouble. Reyes is also in trouble, pulling out of the race when he was in the 2nd position. That's heartbreaking for W2 Pro GP, who were close to make a 1-2. And this will promote Cardoso into the podium and Rosso up to 2nd place. Juan Angel Rosso is the new 2nd place, and then Pedro Cardoso. We got 8 drivers left in the race. 2 minutes behind. Ernesto Besone, former driver for PMO Racing, and next to him was Cynthia Acosta, the wife of Fabrizio Pezzini. Here is Fabrizio Pezzini leading the race still. He will open the 2nd last lap, as when he crosses the line we won't have time for 2 laps, just for 1, and then he will open the last lap. Fabrizio Pezzini now opening the race, 2nd last lap. So we will have 8 finishers, if I'm not wrong. There is Fabrizio Pezzini in the last seconds of the race. Yeah, we'll have Pezzini, Rosso, Cardoso, Leonel Pernilla, Ramirez, Ballerini, Rossetto, and Marian Incoter. We'll have to dive into the records to find a race with 8 finishers. Here is our leader, Fabrizio Pezzini. the second race with less finishers in TCR South America history. Mauricio Pesini on the final lap of the race. Mauricio Pesini in the last turns. He hasn't won in 3 years. We have to go back to May 1st, special date in South American racing history, as it's the anniversary of Ayrton Senna's death. That time in 2022 was the last time this man won a race. Mauricio Pesini in the final lap in Rosario wants to go back for the title after the crown won in 2022. Last meters for Fabrizio Pesini, and it will be the end of the race. We'll have Pesini finishing the race. Here he is, and he wins. Fabrizio Pesini wins the race for W2 Pro GP. Juan Angel Rosso arrives in second. He will be third for the defending champion Pedro Cardoso, who has a double podium to start his title defense. Pesini's family, his kids, and his wife happy. Leonel Pernia arrived in fourth. Luis Ramirez arrived in fifth. Ballerini in sixth. Gennaro Rasetto in seventh. Nelson Piquet Jr. and Mariani Incoter both ended the race laps down. They had to have his son congratulating him. Here is our winner, Fabrizio Pesini, starting 2025 in great shape.
Luca, ¿me está escuchando? Luca, ¿me está escuchando?
Let's look on the tuck back.
Linda carrera. Si andes último, algún día vas a llegar primero. Mirá, mirá, ahí tenés, papá. ¡Vamos, hijo!
You might be last, but someday you will be first, he says to his son. That's something really emotional. A man that fought hard his way in racing, who won his first title being 44 years old. Having raced in Argentina for almost 30 years. Fabrizio Pesini is our winner. Behind him is Juan Angel Rosso, Pedro Cardoso in third, Leonel Pernia in fourth, Luis Ramirez in fifth for Panama, Santino Ballerini, Gennaro Rasetto, the rookies, rounding off good performances, Nelson Piquet Jr. and 2 laps down, Mariani Incoter. We had 8 finishers in the end. Then Rafael Reyes, Tiago Pernia, Mariano Pernia, Fabian Gianantonio and Adrian Chiriano, who failed to make it to the end of the race. Here is our winner. Celebrating with the team, and now it'll be time to celebrate with the family. This reminds us what life is about. This man must be the happiest man in South America today. Fabrizio Pezzini celebrating with Ernesto Bessone, a legend of racing in Argentina. His kids, his loved wife. The man of the weekend might be this, Fabrizio Pezzini. Now he's been dragged into the podium quickly. He will be taken to the podium immediately.
Juan Ángel Rosso en la segunda posición.
Juan Ángel Rosso, second place.
Un podio con el Lincoln Co.
Primer fin de semana,
Podium
un
with
podio,
Lincoln
después de
Co.
la segunda carrera, largamos cuartos. Largué porque moví nomás, gracias a Dios. Y después fue una linda carrera. El auto la verdad que es muy contundente, es un tanque, como le dije a los mecánicos recién, porque tuvo un par de roces bastante picantes y se la bancó como un duque. Así que muy contento, muy agradecido al equipo, a Paladini, a pedir comunicación a todos los que me apoyan y bueno. No es fácil, pero menos este año, que hay muchos picantes, pero bueno, es parte de esto y me alegra mucho estar acá.
La palabra de Juan Ángel Rosso, que finalizó en la segunda posición. Pedro Cardoso se está recuperando con un poco de náuseas y vamos a escuchar la palabra del ganador, que supo ser campeón del TCR South America, Fabri Pezzini, con el cumple del BRB. Feliz, me imagino, Fabri.
Feliz. Habíamos estado bien en los entrenamientos.
Very happy, we were well in practice.
A la hora de clasificar, en la primera carrera se me cortaron los espárragos de rueda, mala suerte tenía para llegar ahí, quinto seguro, y ahora apostamos al ritmo, un gran ritmo, una muy buena largada, me permitió hacer una diferencia y después administrar muy bien el neumático, porque
I could manage well the tires after the start.
Yo sabía que me descontaban por ahí, cuando aceleraba yo hacía diferencia, así que esa diferencia estaba relativamente controlada, pero sobre las últimas dos vueltas empecé a tener una vibración preocupante. Así que levanté mucho el ritmo, la distancia era, la verdad que muy tranquilizadora, así que agradezco al equipo, al W2 Pro, estamos de vuelta.
I'm really happy, I'm grateful to W2 Pro.
Así que hoy lo hemos demostrado. Y un beso grande a mi familia, a mi hijo, a mi hija, a todos mis primos que han venido, a todos mis auspiciantes. Un beso grande a mi vieja que está en el cielo y a mi viejo se los dedico a ellos.
La palabra de Fabrizio Pezzini, el ganador de esta segunda carrera del TCR South America, aquí en Rosario.
There is the championship. On screen, Pezzini with the win. Jumps to sixth place.
Por la Copa Trophy, María Niencotter. Fuerte el aplauso para ella. Quedó en otro sector del circuito, pero la felicitamos obviamente y la que sí recibimos en el tercer puesto de esta segunda carrera es el actual campeón de la cámara, loco, del podio. Fuerte el aplauso para él, para el piloto del PBO Racing.
Pedro Cardoso.
Momento ahora de recibir en la segunda ubicación desde Córdoba con el Lincoln Co. Juan Ángel Rosso.
Juan Ángel Rosso takes second place.
Por el mejor equipo vamos a recibir, aparte del elenco del W2 Pro GP que sube también al podio, el W2 Pro GP sube al podio.
W2 Pro GP will now go into the podium.
Por favor, el W2 Pro GP, que tienen al auto vencedor. Y el primer puesto, fuerte el aplauso para quien supo ser campeón de la categoría. Estamos hablando de Fabricio Pesini, ganador aquí la segunda carrera en Rosario a bordo del Cupra del W2 Pro GP. Invito a que suban al escenario Fabián Spagliati como director del Autódromo de Rosario a entregar el premio del tercer puesto. A Pedro Cardoso sube Fabián. También gran trabajo el de todo el Autódromo de Rosario para que esté en perfectas condiciones para ambas carreras.
Here is the circuit director Fabian Spagliati handing the trophies.
Invito ahora a Marcelo Díaz,
Fabricio Pesini's kids
de Paladini, que sube a entregarle el premio a Juan Ángel Rosso en la segunda ubicación. Recibe ahí entonces el Polo Rosso de parte de Marcelo Díaz, director de marketing de Paladini. Y sube también ahora Pablo Paladini a entregar el premio al ganador, a Fabricio Pesini. Fuerte el aplauso para Fabri, que recibe el premio. Momento ahora entonces de la celebración del champán.
And now we'll celebrate with the champagne.
También vencedora de la Copa Trophy en su primera carrera. Aquí en el TCR se quedan los pilotos en el podio, se quedan para la foto. Se quedan para la foto de la prensa.
Jump quickly to the highlights.
Momento
and we'll wrap up this broadcast.
Este momento. Te van a sacar ahora sí una foto todo. Por favor.
Here's the picture.
Fuerte el aplauso para los pilotos, para los equipos que participaron este fin de semana.
After our first weekend in TCR South America, Fabricio Pesini is our winner. Fabricio Pesini will also receive the prize as the driver of the weekend. And with the best actions of race number 2, we say thank you very much for joining us once again in this first weekend of TCR South American Championship. My name is Francisco Aure. Thanks a lot and see you soon.